So let's create a hypothetical here, Phil's in Minecraft, right? So let's create a hypothetical of an anti-copyright bot created by Twitch, right? We're gonna call it MuseScan, right? And it's an anti-copyright AI written by Twitch, right, to help combat the DMCA claims that loads of streamers are complaining about, right?
Yeah.
So now let's say that this AI is given one job, right? And that it's given one job with a couple rules. And that one job is to identify non-adaptive creative works and to remove them without causing damage to the thing they're removing. So for instance, if it's in a stream, they need to remove the music without dampening the rest of the audio, you know?
Right.
That's its goal. That's what it's been tasked with doing, and that's its really simple aim. If it can do that, it's succeeded its job, right? So they switch it on, they release it, they start, you know, giving it some AI learning, and they send it off into, I will say this is stolen entirely from Tom Scott. I must credit him before I carry on.
Yeah, let's credit him, yeah.
They send it out into the world, and off it goes to go and be and used by the entirety of the Twitch community right now.
Yeah.
They leave it on overnight, and they come back, and they find that it's not really made too much progress. But then they come back the next day, and it's made a ton of progress. It started really figuring out how to extract music. It's found out how to like examine different sounds on the internet and start pulling them out and things. And then the next hour, it's gotten even better. It started to, you know, breed itself and create new copies of itself that are even smarter. And then the next minute, it started being able to pretty much effectively make it seem like nothing was ever there in the first place. No music was there in the first place. And then every second, it's getting smarter and smarter until it has actually surpassed all other copyright detection AI before it. Congratulations, the AI developers are rich. They've just created something that's really helped Twitch. And MuseScan is now the biggest, you know, AI for detecting copyright music. Absolutely wonderful, right? Now, somewhere down the line, some nefarious individual, or whatever you want to call it, starts to develop some kind of nanotechnology that can actually take on this AI. You can use the AI's open source code and start to use it in a practical, real-world sense. It's installed into the nanotechnology and released into the world quietly. No one ever knows it's released. And slowly but surely, the AI tries to do its job. It thinks, right, I must find non-adaptive creative works that are copyrighted, and I must remove them seamlessly without any knowledge that they were there in the first place. So the technology starts going around. It starts figuring out how to, right, okay, well, I can get into this hard drive by going through this port, and I can start changing around the data in this hard drive to make sure it doesn't go out. And then in the next minute it figures out, oh well, you know what, if I can reproduce enough of myself, I can actually blot out ink from a paper and make it so that the paper looks like it's a blank sheet, so I can get rid of like hard copy works. And then a bit of time later it starts to figure out how it can get into record players, CDs, tape cassettes, everything that you could possibly think of, digital, hardware, it doesn't matter, whatever. It can start getting into it and silently erasing this work, right, to make sure that, you know, no, it's not copyrighted. And then it figures out how to get inside people. And which would be easily the next step. I mean, where's the next place where all this creative work is stored? In people's heads.
Oh my god.
The AI starts figuring out where the information is stored and in neurologically, and starts figuring out how to wipe it without actually damaging anything else. And thank God it was given the command not to damage anything else. Because it starts going through people's heads and it starts removing all copyrighted material that isn't transformative. And slowly but surely, people start forgetting that it exists in the first place. Now, the next measure is that people out there start to realize what's going on. And some very smart minds start to come to the idea, right, we need to stop this, right? So that it starts going, right, okay, so some AI designers think, okay, we've got to develop some way of stopping it. So the AI knows that these people are now trying to block its work. They're trying to circumvent the ban, almost, right? They're trying to circumvent the DMCA claim. So the robot starts rewiring some neurons just quietly to make it so they're a bit less interested in AI. Maybe those AI developers that were really interested in stopping the robot are now a bit more interested in fishing. You know, maybe they're a bit more interested in you know, studying space. they're not so interested in AI development anymore, and then maybe some young people who are planning, who show the signs, the disposition of growing up to be interested in AI, suddenly aren't interested anymore. Now people are rightfully pissed. People are rightfully angry that they suddenly can't remember. The Beatles are gone from memory. No one can remember them, and no one knows they existed in the first place. So people are angry. People are angry at this robot. So the AI, in the AI's interest of survival, reproduction, which was one of the rules it was given, it starts just cheering people up, makes people feel a bit happier, removes any idea that that it would be an angry thing. Everyone's quite happy that the AI came about now.
Fucking hell. And then we've just like been like conditioned, we're mind controlled now.
And now there's no more creative work in the world, but no one knows because everyone's happy with there not being any creative work.
Jesus, dude. That is so fucked.